Hello everyone, my name is Rongbin. My topic is the dilemma and strategies for quality resource allocation in Chinese wish arts education, a perspective from urban-rural equity and sustainable development goal for. The Part 1, Introduction, Sustainable Development Goal for aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, with core dimensions including accessibility, inclusion, and quality of education. We share education as an important part of quality education. Not only cultivates aesthetics and creativity, but also promotes individual development. However, the uneven allocation of resources, especially between urban and rural areas, has become a key obstacle to achieving sustainable development goals. In China, this urban-rural gap is particularly evident in the field of visual arts education. In order to promote educational equity and achieve the sustainable development goals, it is urgent to improve the overall quality of visual arts education in rural areas by optimizing resource allocation, localizing curriculum construction, and cross-sector collaboration mechanisms. The Part 2, Landscape of Research topic. Visual arts education is an important path to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal for. Globally, the imbalance in the allocation of resources between urban and rural areas is significant, which restricts educational equity and the development of students' creativity. Urban schools in Europe and the United States are mostly equipped with complete facilities and diverse courses, while rural areas in developing countries are often limited by insufficient infrastructure and teacher shortages, which restrict students' art learning and creativity development. Taking Kenya as an example, research shows that its rural and primary and secondary schools have extremely limited investment in art education, which is difficult to meet basic teaching needs. The urban-rural gap in China is also prominent, with urban schools having advantages in curriculum and behavior, and the imbalance between the eastern and western regions is particularly obvious. Challenges. 1. Accessibility barriers. Rural schools lack professional art classrooms, teaching equipment, and painting materials, which restricts art learning opportunities. 2. Weak curriculum adaptability. The course content often does not combine the cultural background of rural students, lacks local art elements, and reduces student participation and identity. 3. Teaching quality gap. Urban schools rely on university resources to carry out interdisciplinary projects, while rural schools mostly stay at basic technical teaching and lack innovative practice. The Part 3, Research Gap Identification. 1. Uneven resource input. Rural schools have shortage of consumables and outdated equipment, and their funding is far lower than that of urban schools. 2. Templated curriculum content. Most courses are unified, lacking flexibility and relevance to students' cultural experience. 3. A weak teacher support system. Rural art teachers lack continuous professional training and teaching resource support. Bridging these gaps will help promote the realization of the inclusion and quality goals in Sustainable Development Goal 4. Provide rural students with equal opportunities for artistic exploration and enhance creativity and cultural identity. The Part 4 problem statement. In the field of visual arts education, the imbalance of urban and rural resources is common around the world. And this contradiction is more acute in China. Studies have shown that there is a significant gap between rural schools and urban schools in terms of teachers, curriculum, and facilities. This imbalance not only seriously restricts the cultivation of rural students' artistic literacy, but also deviates from the goal of educational equity. It can be seen that in-depth exploration of the scientific allocation paths of visual arts education resources and promoting the leap in the quality of rural art education have become important issues that need to be solved urgently. The Part 5 background. How do the identified issues connect with the global issues? In the context of the global pursuit of sustainable development, educational equity is seen as the key to achieving inclusion and overall well-being. Visual arts education resources are unevenly distributed between urban and rural areas, especially in developing countries and rural areas of China, which limits students' creativity and cultural participation. This urban-rural gap not only reflects the widespread problem of global education inequality, but also reflects the practical challenges of China as a developing country. By deeply studying this issue and proposing practical optimization strategies, it will not only help promote educational equity in China, but also provide valuable experience for global art education equity and social development, and promote the construction of a more inclusive and creative cultural society. The Part 6 argument. Visual arts education can inspire students' creative potential, aesthetical ability, and cultural identity. The urban-rural gap will directly affect the comprehensive development of individuals and communities. In addition, data shows that in Chinese rural art education project, 2 years of intervention can increase the university admission rate by 15%. Therefore, it is crucial to respond to the rational allocation of educational resources for visual arts education. Its potential positive impacts include: 1. Individual level. It can enable rural children to fully tap their artistic potential, enhance their self-confidence, and lay the foundation for diversified development in the future. 2. School level. It can promote curriculum innovation and interdisciplinary cooperation, enhance the attractiveness of education, and reduce the dropout rate. 3. Community level. It can stimulate the vitality of local culture, drive the development of cultural industries, and help rural revitalization. The Part 7. Innovative methods and best practice. Case 1. Localization of courses. The Art Life course of the True Life Dream Charity Foundation guides rural students to create art based on their life experiences, realizes the localization and life-oriented nature of the course, stimulates students' enthusiasm for participation and desire to express themselves, and embodies the adaptation strategy of taking life as the course. Case 2. Sharing of high-quality resources. The on-site teaching practice of China Academy of Art and Sichuan Academy of Fine Arts has brought university art resources to rural areas, established an urban-rural cooperation mechanism, improved the quality of rural art education, expanded the social service functions of universities, and promoted the balanced allocation of educational resources. Case 3. Interdisciplinary integration. The educational project of the Rural Life Museum in Catalonia, Spain, combines art, ecology, and culture, gets students to pay attention to sustainable development through artistic practice, cultivates critical thinking and global vision, and demonstrates the value of cross-disciplinary integration in improving the quality of education. So these cases show the practice of art education in achieving the sustainability and inclusiveness in sustainable development goal 4. The True Life Dream course advocates art for everyone and is inclusive of diverse cultural backgrounds. The China Academy of Art and Sichuan Fine Arts Institute promotes the thinking of educational resources and promotes urban-rural cooperation. The Spanish project builds a sustainable cultural education mechanism through community cooperation. So these experiences provide support for this study and demonstrate the potential of art education to promote educational equity and sustainable development. The Part 8 conclusion. The resource gap between urban and rural visual arts education is a real obstacle to achieving sustainable development goal 4. By promoting fair resource allocation, localizing curriculum, and building a teacher support mechanism, the quality of rural art education can be improved and cultural diversity and creativity can be enhanced. This is not only the practice of the educational goal of inclusion and equity, but also provides an important reference for global educational equity and social sustainable development. These are references. That's all. Thank you.